So today we're going to take a look at PRX versus Zeta Division on Breeze because, well, let's just take a look at the comp that PRX are playing because, of course, they are known for playing weird comps here on Breeze, and this one was no different. They're playing Harbor instead of Viper, which I found interesting. Breach, Yoru, Reyna, four kind of weird agents on this map to pick, and so I thought, yeah, let's take a look at exactly what happened here on this match between PRX and Zeta because, of course, with this comp that PRX are running, there is some interesting things going on. But before we get into that, today we're going to talk about the best way to get a lot better at Valorant very quickly, because Gosu Academy are running a 10-day bootcamp where you can learn from some of the best coaches in the game. Neilzinho and Anders have both worked with some of the best orgs, the biggest orgs in Valorant, and there's also me who will be running one session as well, and so you can learn from these top coaches and learn what they think about the game and what's important in the game. But it's not just that. Alongside all that information that you'll be getting, you'll also be playing 10-man, games against other people in the bootcamp where they get VOD reviewed and you really take a serious look at what is going on. And this testimonial from Seaman here about, how beneficial that 10-man is, I think is completely true. So you can really take a good look in a serious controlled setting, right? Where everyone is taking it very seriously. Everyone's calming, everyone's trying to get better together. You can take a serious look at what are the flaws in your game, how to get better, and then combine that with all the extra information that you'll get from some of the best coaches in the game itself, and then you have a recipe for absolute success. Now, don't worry if you can't make every single session from January 2nd to the 11th, because all of the sessions will be recorded as VODs that you can go back and look at later as well. So don't worry if you can't make every single session, but this genuinely is the best way of getting better at Valorant pretty quickly. So if you do want to do that, then go into the link in the description or in the pinned comment and get better at Valorant today. Thank you to Gosu Academy for sponsoring the video. So let's start with actually the very first pistol round. PRX are on the attacking side, Zeta are on the defensive side, and we're going to see a B hit here. And this is actually something that PRX really, they tended to go B quite often. They kind of, didn't do too many A hits in general. And I think one of the reasons for that is actually to do with Yoru. And the fact that Yoru, I think, has, just better spots here to teleport into, be it, kind of by the tower, be it back here in this corner, be it by this box in this corner. It's kind of different options for Yoru and kind of, you can mix it up a bit more. On this A site, right, you're often just going to put a wall across there and it's like, maybe you can come back here and that's okay. But other than that, there isn't maybe too much. I mean, coming into here, it's often not that hard to, kind of get through this A choke point. So, I think on this B choke point, it does make more sense that they do that. So you're going to see they're going to come in nice and early. They send the gate crash down there. But actually from Zeta, as you can see as well, we got a bit of a different spin. They're actually going to get aggressive down here. And that leads to a very interesting round, as you will see, a very kind of different round. Harbor wall goes in. There goes the Yoru gate crash. In comes a flash there. We're going to get the breach done coming across as well. Little shock dart for any cipher trips. In comes this nice little bouncing recon bolt as well, and we end up in this position where they have the site. And so what's going to happen is we're going to get a fight here with this Viper, but we're also going to get a fight here with Benkai. This is kind of an interesting way and how this B post plan often goes is if you can control this area as either side, that's pretty advantageous to you. So you will see a lot of pro teams, have someone, pretty deep here, maybe even a second person kind of in here as well to just help marshal this. This time Benkai is on his own and he has a lot to deal with because of the pressure coming from Zeta Division. Obviously, he doesn't know about this as well. And so he will die here just to these two players back there, but they do manage to get the kill on the Viper. So they have the site, they plan the spike, and now you see that, PRX kind of figure it out, and what Zeta are doing is they're going for this very aggressive. Actually, all four are going to come around towards, kind of the attacker's side, if you will, and actually PRX, as you can see, go and take very deep, and these two are actually going to come back and loop all the way around here. So a very kind of interesting, different round. You see we've got the harbor wall coming in here as well eventually, just coming across the map just there. And so we end up in this position where now it's a 4v4 retake, but as I said, all of Zeta are coming from this direction, which is, a little bit weird. And so what's going to eventually happen is they're going to come into the site, dash. Obviously, Paper X don't know that all four are there. They actually do manage to get one kill there with My Freak, and then get the second trade just there. But we end up in this 2v2. And I was thinking when I saw Jing in this fight here, this is very reminiscent of, this being like Sugetsu seeing a Cypher here for Jing in Copenhagen. This was how kind of that Masters tournament ended, of course, with Jing pretty much in this position. He is going to manage to get one kill, and then he gets traded here, as you will see by Les. But we're going to see something very interesting. You might have just seen it on the screen just there, that a gate crash has been sent over here. Forsaken goes for it and does manage to get the kill on Les and end it. And you can see Devi is very, very happy about that. And now let's come to round number 4. And this is going to be a pretty quick round, but it has one very interesting thing in it, which is a bit of Harbor tech that I think if you are going to play Harbor, maybe you want to pick up as well. So again, Paper X, they're just going to come towards this B site, and they're actually going to wait for this aggression from 10. They expect it, and so they're ready for it, and they do manage to get that kill just there. Personally, I'm never a massive fan. They had 2 people still here on the B site as well. I understand you want one person obviously watching the window for 10 here, but then I wouldn't have minded, if a second player is there fighting alongside him. Just to help out in that fight, but it wasn't there for Zeta Division. They come in onto the site. The Tripwire actually gets a kill. You might have just seen the Reyna get lit up a bit there, but Mind Freak is there and he comes out, right? And so they're getting onto the site, but this is what I'm interested in, right? How he's going to use the cove in this second just here, because he's going to just right click it in front of him, okay? But you see then he's going to come up with it. And this is a very, very interesting idea, because this cove is going to land, right? And it's going to create this shield, but Mind Freak is going to come past the wall, try and get a peek off, and this is almost like the idea is that he's going to take this fight, and if he doesn't get the kill straight away, he then gets protected by the shield, right? And he can come back out if he wants to, or he can play around it or whatnot. So it's almost like, I don't even know what the comparison would be, I guess, but it's almost like, just a bit of a safety shield, I guess, that he's going to take a very quick peek and then get, the shield around him. And he did this multiple times in the game. Now, in this instance, what's going to happen is he is going to manage to kill Laz, but obviously we can see that the Sova is, like, right here as well, who's going to actually be inside of it as well. So he is going to get traded. But I thought it was just a very, very interesting idea and something that you might want to add into your arsenal if you are playing Harbor. This little right click in front of you, sprint into it, basically, and then, try and take a fight. If someone's there, you then take the fight, hope to kill them in the first couple of bullets, and then, you will be protected from any trades or anything like that. So this is how it plays out. You see, he does get the kill, but then obviously Crow is right next to him, basically, so he does get that kill as well. We end up in a 3v1. The spike will start to go down, as you can see just there from Forsaken. They see where Sugar Zero is, and they get the final kill. Paper X win the round. But just a very interesting kind of, way of using the Cove, which is an ability that I think we haven't seen the full use of yet, right? I don't think people have fully figured out how to use the Cove to its best abilities. That does seem like, a potential one going forward. Now let's come to this interesting round as well, which is round number 9. It's going to start really, really well for Paper X. They're going to go for the Yoru ult here in A. And actually, they are going to find 2 kills here as these two line up as Forsaken is rounding this corner. Jing actually manages to get 2 kills. Now, 10 does get one back here in holes. He manages to find Mind Freak just there. But now they're coming in onto this A site. We're going to get one of the messiest fights of Forsaken's career here as he comes out of the Yoru ult, misses the 2 shorty shots. You see that Def is completely blind. Then a Rain of Flash comes up. He can't see either. Eventually, Devi gets the kill. We end up in a 4v2. But now we're going to see something that, and I do think that this is true of a lot of these kind of, preseason games that I've seen and whatnot. Something that kind of personally annoys me, which is people just doing bad habits because it's not a super serious game. It's always kind of been like a personal belief of mine that, you should always play as seriously as possible, because otherwise you will get into bad habits and then you'll just keep doing it and keep doing it, in games, that really matter as well, because you'll just, naturally do that. So you're going to see they're in a 4v2, right? We should just be playing safe, but you can see where Jing is, and actually you see that, they have a pretty good idea, and 10 does just take his head off. He's walking in the middle of nowhere there. Pops the Rain ult, we end up in a 3v2, right? Now, Benkai is coming on a big flank. Devi takes that peek. He dies as well. Forsaken's teleporting away. All of a sudden, we're in a 2v2. Now, Benkai does have this really nice flank going on, and so, he's still going to be able to, actually, he doesn't get the kill, but he sees where 10 is, and eventually Forsaken gets the kill. But now let's talk about Sugar Zero, because Sugar Zero is one of the best clutch players in the world. And this, I think, is a really, really good example of, some things that you can do in the clutch to help you. I do think clutches are a bit random. There isn't, every situation is a bit different. But, some of the things that he does here are just really, really good, right? So he's in a 2v1. He probably has some decent information, maybe not perfect information, but decent information of where these players are. So first thing, he has the Viper Orb on the spike, right? So he gets it to half. And this is so, so important. He doesn't win this round if he doesn't get to half, by the way, and I'll explain in a second. So he gets it to half, he gets off it, and then he actually manages to find this kill on Forsaken, right, who's checking in on him. So he manages to get it to half, but the thing is, now that it's at half, he can tap the spike again, right, and he's given himself a lot of time, because now that it's half, right, he has, kind of double the time, you might say, in a way, before he has to start sticking the spike, and now he taps it, right, and the thing is, when you hear that tap sound of the higher pitched noise of it being halved, everyone checks, right? Everyone will always check. Doesn't matter what rank you are, right? Even at the pro level where, they know sometimes if you're just going to tap it and fake it and they won't check, right? They'll just, call your bluff essentially. But when it's halved, there is no calling the bluff. Everyone checks. And so you can guarantee that Benkai is going to come and check this, right? There's no way he's not. So Sugar Zero knows this, right? He taps the spike, it's on half. He knows that Benkai has to come out and, start running out here and, start looking at the spike and, spraying bullets into it, whatever. So he just calmly walks to the side, creates a different angle. You see Benkai is focused on that. He's spamming down here because he has to, because it's halved. And then Sugar Zero kills him and manages to win the round. Really, really well played by Sugar Zero, who is one of the best players in the world in these kind of scenarios. And he pulls out another one there for Zeta Division by Sugar Zero. And then finally, let's finish here with round number 18. Zeta Division would go on to win this game, and it's no surprise really with the comp that PRX had, that of course with no Sentinel and whatnot, playing a Yoru, playing a Harbor, playing a Reyna, right? They were gonna struggle with the defensive side, and that did bear out in the game as well. And so in this last round, what's going to happen is Zeta Division are going to slowly work out their way towards A. You see we get this quick flank here as they, figure out it's an A hit pretty quickly by, the Yoru ult coming out. You get the pressure in here from Hall as well by the Cypher, but actually the Sova Dart does see the Cypher, and actually Benkai is going to manage to get that kill from that Sova Dart just there. So they do actually end up in this situation. They then destroy the trap wire with the Yoru clone, and then actually Forsaken's going to teleport across. We actually get this again, where we've got the Harbor wall in here to try and stop on A, and again, Mindfreak is trying to peek with this little right-click cove, coming across to try and take a swing. Really little nice idea there. You see this time it doesn't see anyone, but you see he, basically gets to just live in it for a bit and live in this. Whilst that's going on though, Sugar Zero has actually managed to get 2 kills back in Halls. We got Jing on the flank here as well. But what's going to happen is Mindfreak's going to come out. Eventually he does get 1 kill, but then gets traded by Crow. We end up in this situation that ends up being a 3v1 with Jing on the flank. He will manage to get 1 kill before ultimately going down. And of course, this was no great surprise that they struggled on this defensive side, right? And I think PRX will be a team that are pretty glad that Breeze is one of the maps that are going, right? They are losing Bind, which of course, historically has been one of the maps they've thrived at. But I think with the loss of Breeze, I think overall PRX will be a team that is glad with the maps that got rotated out, and with the addition back of Split. And, eventually Zeta go on their nice little swing around here by Crow to finish the game, and Zeta would win this map.